we share the following statement from the First Presidency of the Church. Brothers and sisters, since the temple endowment was first administered in this dispensation, occasional adjustments have been made by the First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, acting unitedly in their capacity as prophets, seers, and revelators. Upon seeking the will of the Lord and after solemn prayer in the upper room of the Salt Lake Temple, the Lord has again revealed inspired adjustments to the temple ceremonies. These adjustments, which you will notice during your worship experience in the temple today, will bring harmony to the way men and women make covenants with God. They deepen our understanding of His will and His relationship with His daughters and sons. These modifications do not affect the sacred and eternal covenants associated with the saving and exalting ordinances of the temple. As a reminder, due to the sacred nature of all temple ordinances, the fact and the content of these changes should not be discussed outside of the temple. May you feel the Lord's love as you serve in His holy house.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. We get to do church news early apparently today because church put out several stuff for the 30th. The one I'm going to talk about is the YouTube video about how Nelson has failed yet again to have the Salt Lake Temple finished for the second coming of Jesus Christ. Again, he failed. Originally, it was supposed to be for April conference, and he failed, and so thus he was able to con the community of Christ out of the Kirtland Temple to revise that history for conference. And so they're desperately trying to claim that they're so close that it counts, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Now, you have to be able to dedicate the temple in order for Jesus to suddenly come to his temple and prove that the Jews were wrong about their own scriptures, about their own Christ. It's all Christian Jesus. Jews were wrong. And so, yeah, it's real easy to know that the church is false because they claim to be Christian with Jesus. Automatically false because Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon are Jewish. Very obvious to anybody who's literate. So, the video sponsored by Fight Night. Only on Peacock. and some advertisement of a woman farting. What's up with that, YouTube? A black woman farting. 5 signs of overworked liver. Why is she black? What's up with this? Is it only for black women? Toxins and causes weight gain. YouTube. And so, as we're getting up to conference, you'll hear at the beginning of their video that says that there's to be no unauthorized recording of their presentation. And they have it on YouTube, on their YouTube channel. And YouTube, likewise, does not allow creators to present copyrighted material. And nobody seems to have read the copyright law itself. And so people are abusing copyright laws for their own advantage. And there's been some Hollywood movies that have snuck this in, not to violate copyright laws of movies. I remember a Jack Black film about him making his own videos of popular videos, and then the copyright police come and destroy them. Which then inspired YouTube, and then YouTube put copyrighted materials, as the CSAC is the latest scandal saying no more of our music because you aren't paying us what we are owed. And it's the algorithms of AI that is purposely jacking up the price for them to pay, or to not get, well, lowering the price for them to get paid, so that the conflict is going on. And supposedly this is a negotiation tactic that hurts customers and viewers of YouTube. So it's all stupid, but yeah, this is indicating the end of YouTube in the near future here. Just like Blockbuster Video, gone because of algorithms. We're gonna make a lot of money through family favorites. Because the algorithms said so. And so Linda Kessling, I had recently made a comment. Using pictures or videos and text from the temple is illegal. It is all copyrighted, not secret. Did you ever go to the temple? Because if you did, are you deaf? Do you not hear? I'm unaware of captions. As I once tried it, as somebody had pointed it out to me, that the YouTube captions does not do very well. Oh my God, no. So let me give you at least one hypothetical, depending on how many I want to do. There's a whole bunch of them to use here. But first, in order to prosecute a criminal, you have to obtain documents. The criminals obviously don't want their exposed crimes given to the police or the prosecution. They keep it a secret. They don't want other people to know about it. You know, thus a secret combination in the Book of Mormon. And so they have their signs and their penalties of death to prevent other people from knowing their criminal activities in secret. You've never gone to the temple? Are you that young? And so, yes, you know, there's due process. They can't just break the law to prove the criminal's a criminal. They have to obtain the evidence, develop a theory, present it to a judge to get a search warrant that specifically says the place and what they're looking for, and to make sure that they follow it and all that. But yeah, it's just a simple matter of when you are a whistleblower, you kind of have to have the documents, or at least be able to tell the police where the documents can be obtained, so that they can get a search warrant and search and find it. You know, the whole documents case of Trump down in Florida and Mar-a-Lago. Remember that big scandal that he's now gotten away with because the judge was paid off? And so yeah, there's if it's criminal activity, you don't have copyright privileges. That's example number one. Example number two, YouTube. It's in the public domain. Anybody has free access to the content given on YouTube. Over time, especially the new guy who's the CEO as of last year, is the one responsible for premium YouTube movies and TV. And they don't allow you to say, no, I never am interested in this. Please do not advertise this ever again. No, they do not allow that option. And so, yeah, they've got something that you have to pay for in order to view. But the main YouTube is all free access. Everybody has free access to that information unless you're under 18, and then you got to sign in and prove you're over 18 to see women on YouTube, because women are porn, women are evil, they're addictive, they're harmful to children, they're gonna murder you, they're just like COVID, says Oaks or Holland, etc., etc., etc. And so the way it's set up originally was that the more views you get on YouTube for your video that you uploaded, if you reach a certain number of views, YouTube would pay you. And then came the creation of bots. And these bots were programmed to rack up the views on YouTube videos so that certain people would get lots and lots of money from YouTube. And then YouTube caught on to this pattern of the scam that was scamming YouTube out of money. And so they stopped that method of making money on YouTube. And they went to what's called a partner program, where you can set yourself up with companies who want to advertise on YouTube, and rather than having their own channel on YouTube, they show advertisements during your video. And if people click on the advertisement to not watch your video, then the company will pay you for the video that they didn't watch for just the person clicking to view their site. And so there's no guarantee that people who click on these advertising links actually will purchase anything from the company, but the companies are betting that with so many views will come so many purchases. And that's based on algorithms, and it will destroy their business. Just like YouTube getting destroyed by algorithms. Just like Blockbuster. And so this is the current scam that is going on right now. But still, the original video is free. It's made available for everybody. Everybody can have access to it. Now, the copyright laws were created so that those who create a product can get the full royalties or sales of their product, so that nobody else comes along and steals it from them and makes the money that belongs to the creator of the content, whether it be a book, music, a YouTube video, digital picture, meme, anything else. That if there's money involved, it must go to the creator until a certain period of time when the copyright runs out. Now, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints keeps refreshing the copyright to cheat the system, but they make it freely available. And so it doesn't really matter about the copyright anymore for the church, because everything that the church puts out is freely available for all to see, except for the secret combinations that are going on within the temple, which are criminal and have been reported to the government, but the government still is not doing their job to lock up the church. Because as a whistleblower, it's easily obtainable. And so the people that have been recording the endowment ceremony that are being shown on YouTube are perfectly fine and acceptable. When the Mormon leaks released the handbook of instructions before Nelson made them readily available for all, they are not protected by copyright because there are criminal activities in the handbook. That's why the church kept it a secret only for leaders of the church. Because it's got abuses and all sorts of criminal activities that are involved in there. And this is what Mormons are in denial of. I'm having a hard time believing you have no clue what a crime is. You can't steal, you can't murder, you can't threaten to murder, you can't tell people to commit suicide. So yeah, ChatGPT AI telling people to murder themselves, yeah, can't do that. Gotta ban the product, no more AI. And they won't do that because it's multi-billions of dollars. And so yes, there's money involved with AI crimes. And so that compounds the criminal activity as the church demands money to go to the temple to be told you are now signing an NDA with the church with your own blood if you disclose it. But it's all criminal. It's not protected as copyright material. Do I need to go over them with you? Law of obedience, you're a prostitute to your husband who can't have sex until he gets married to you in the temple, and thus having paid the prostitution price through his bishop, the bagman, to marry you, and then finally have sex, for which you then deny him sex as a sexual abuser yourself. Number 2, you've got to kill yourself to protect the church from criminal prosecution. Number 3, you can't criticize the leaders of the church. Nelson then would go on to add Jesus' higher law of section 132, polygamy, a crime. Chastity? No. Polygamy. Thanks to Nelson bringing it back. Are you obedient? Who was this woman again? Linda. Are you obedient, Linda? Are you keeping it a secret if you are obedient? I mean, Utah has decriminalized it. I wonder why. Right after the change in the temple, Utah decriminalized polygamy. Weird. They blamed it on that TV family. That's the justification. And then the law of slavery, where the church is going to coup the government and make you slaves, taking away your agency and forcing you to give everything you make to the church to make them richer and more powerful, overthrowing the government with the kingdom of Jesus, who's going to murder people. No, nothing inside the temple is copyright protected because it's all criminal. It's all been reported to the federal government. It's the federal government's fault for not stepping in and stopping this criminal organization. And so you are wrong. But the YouTube videos, because they're free, people can obtain their own copy. Just like those who purchase something, whether it's a book, whether it's a DVD, whether it's an online streaming service, people can obtain their own copy for their own personal use. And nobody wants to allow that. We're going away from purchasing tangible goods to having everything digitized online, and now everybody wants to deny copyright laws to say you can't have this. You can't have this picture. There's, as I use pictures that are freely available on the internet for many of my pictures and my videos and memes that I would add to them, there are a number of companies actually, who purposely put watermarks of their company over the picture, thus destroying the picture. What good is the picture if you're going to destroy it? Now, there's a couple of them that are actual sellers of the pictures, and thus why they have water markings for when they become freely available online, because they post it freely on their website so that you can see what the product is that you would be purchasing. And so, yes, they protect themselves by putting the watermark on the sale picture example of the product, and then you would then buy the product and then obtain your own picture without the watermarks. That's what people do if you want to make sure that you get money for the product you're trying to sell, rather than putting stuff up and having other people be able to just freely take it and obtain it for their own personal copy. But there are a whole gabillions of pictures that are still on the internet that are freely accessible to everybody. And everybody has the right to obtain those for their own personal copy. But what they cannot do is take those and then sell them as if it's theirs, because it's not theirs. The copyright always eternally belongs with the creator. But if the creator gives it out for free, anybody can have it. So my academia page, for For example, I have documents and pictures that I have posted on there, and one video I think still remains, that anybody can freely obtain for themselves. And so if you remember, last month or 2 months ago, I had found a picture online that contained information that only I knew about. And I saw who the guy was claiming to be the author of it, claiming a copyright, which he reconstructed it for his own information, but the information is mine. And so there's nothing I can legally do, and I'm not going to even bother. I obtained his picture for my own personal use, and then you would have seen those in the videos when I talked about it, and put in the comment, "You need to reference me, Lewis," because I know the guy. I have seen him come to my academia page. That's how he obtained that information and made the pictures, and it was very well done. But again, you need to be warned with me, because the church is trying to murder me, and anybody else who thinks that they can just steal my stuff and present them as their source, and they're the source and creation of it, you run the risk of the church coming after you now to murder you. But they already know it's mine. But you need to understand that when I first deciphered Paleo-Hebrew and went to the church, to F. Michael Watson, secretary to Gordon B. Hinckley, he said that Joseph Smith is not a translator, and Joseph Smith is therefore a fraud. And he called my stake president, and my stake president had me called in to his office. And when I got in the door to the tiny little office, and it was in the younger singles ward, and inside was the full stake presidency and the full bishopric crammed into this tiny little room. And I sat on the chair, and the first question that was asked is, "Who did you tell about this?" What? I was being interrogated. They wanted names to punish people who had learned that I had deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. You need to understand how evil this church is, how criminal they are. And so don't think you can steal from me and that the church won't come after you. There have been numerous people who have come out in support of me whom the church has destroyed. There are people who failed to destroy me, and they got destroyed by the church. Right, Todd? Dumbass brother. Attacks me on my birthday. But yeah, the church threatened him. You are going to lose your job if you don't shut Travis up. And he was forced to pay $2,000 retainer for a lawyer who then sent me the information that Todd had been threatened by the church to get me. Or he would get fired. So, yeah, that was an obvious one to respond to, and I never heard from the lawyer again. No duh! But apparently the lawyer didn't then go and sue the church on his behalf. So much corruption going on. And so, it's just, you need to understand, you can't make digital copies of somebody else's product and sell them and profit off of it. This is what YouTube does not understand. They don't like you obtaining your own copy so that when the internet is down, or you don't want to be on the internet because Google cyber attacks you, or YouTube cyber attacks you, or that you can have it on a transferable device because you don't want to use your phone because they're tracking you and cyber terrorizing you on that. But oh dear God, it's like nobody knows what's going on in China, and here we are, everybody's using their phones, and they don't understand we're becoming just like China. You're falling into the trap. But yeah, it's real simple. If it's not your product, you can't sell it. And so that's what the FBI warning at the beginning of movies is all about. You cannot profit off of somebody else's work. But if you've paid for it, or if it's freely available to obtain, you have no problems with the law in obtaining your own copy for your own personal use. This is in the copyright laws. It's real simple, real easy. And so, yes, if you're going to portray something without making modifications to it, you need to reference who it is. And so I had a book that I published that I used a guy's picture, and the guy came at me and said, no, you can't use that. Well, no, first of all, yours is a painting, not a picture. I obtained the picture of your painting. And so you're not selling pictures, you're selling paintings. There's a big difference. But I didn't want to argue with it, and I just put in that it was him as the author. You know, it was a stupid thing. He didn't understand copyright laws. He's obsessed with not having other art mediums of his work, because people who want the painting still have to buy his painting. You know, a person who forges a painting would be the one getting in trouble that he would have to go after. And so, yes, there are those who forge paintings. As getting a TV show flashback in my associative memory on that. And I liked that show too. It was pretty good. White Collar. Yeah, White Collar. That's the name of it. And so, yeah, if you take somebody's work and you make it a completely different work, it's yours now. Because you are doing it's like a cover band. Cover bands are cover bands, they're not the band. And so they recreate somebody else's work. It's not the original work, it's now a cover band. And so that should be available for you to know about on YouTube. And so likewise with any kind of art, you know, turning a particular art piece into another form of art, yeah, you know, like the painting into a picture, yeah, it's now mine. I got the picture. I can freely use it whenever I want. Or, you know, like I have pictures of the Salt Lake Temple on Temple Square. I can use those because I took the photographs. And so the church can't claim copyright violations for having my own picture that I took of the temple. The temple is the building. And so, yeah, if I were to make a Salt Lake Temple exact replica and claim it's a temple of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, yeah, there's some fraud going on. So, yeah, fun times. And so, yeah, people are purposely trying to destroy the Constitution, to harm other people, to enslave other people, to destroy our rights of life, liberty, and property. And going after copyright laws is one of these methods, and YouTube is on the forefront of destroying our Constitution through that process, not wanting people to have access to YouTube content. That was after the Mother's Day massacre. That's what YouTube did to me. They said, when you're signed in, Travis, you cannot watch any videos anymore. We are upset that you overturned the porn accusation on Mother's Day. And so you are banned from watching content on YouTube. YouTube committed a crime against me. They have no rights, legal rights against me. I am a creator. They are supposed to help me get attention as a creator. But because I'm not part of the partner program, the algorithms are purposely designed to silence my channel and keep people from watching. So, who in their right mind would want to replicate this church? So no. The temple information is already public domain. It's been leaked, and so anybody can read it for themselves. Anybody can watch the videos for themselves and see the crimes that are being committed in that endowment ceremony. Sorry, Linda, you are participating in the criminal activities of the church, and therefore giving aid and comfort, and therefore you too are participating in the church's crimes. So you really don't want to get a lawyer like my brother did and think you're going to come after me, because I'll just point it out to your lawyer that you're the one committing the crimes. Leave the Constitution alone. And it just won't happen. Purposely, Oaks says, I'm cooing the church. And that's another issue, is that this little sister missionary, that we'll end with this, because this is important, because this is what this is all about. This is what my whole channel is about. And then boom, this little sister missionary leaks a talk from Oaks that she's not supposed to reveal. It's a secret, copyrighted. And she leaks it. But it's criminal. Oaks confesses to the crimes that the church are in charge of. And so, again, since we've got 6 days left until your doom, well, not your doom is after this, because Sunday is Yom Kippur. Or no, the fast of Gedala. The 12th is Saturday. Yeah, October 12th is Yom Kippur, the Day of Judgment. And that's what the whole fast of Gedalia is leading up into, as the Jews has purposely set it up in their calendar this way. You have the new year with the Rosh Hashanah trumpet, shofar, horn blowing as a warning, and because it's for Jews, and Joseph Smith says we're Jewish, and the Book of Mormon is Jewish, and therefore we are Jews, and therefore the Jews are talking about Mormons. And Mormons don't care, they don't believe it. And so here comes Judgment Day, Mormons, here it comes. Nelson's wrong. Are you going to bet against me and Joseph and the Jews who wrote the scriptures? They aren't Christian, they're Jewish. And so then the fast of Gedalia is the assassination of the Babylonian governor, and it's in the Book of Mormon. I did the whole video for you about this whole fast of Gedalia thing. That's why I'm doing the countdown now. And I noticed the playlist, YouTube is back again to cyber terrorizing me by not updating the playlist. A real simple thing, but the algorithms are programmed to abuse me. As a creator on YouTube, they are purposely abusing me rather than helping me to get other people's attention on YouTube, which is what YouTube wants, except I'm not a part of the partner program, so YouTube's not making any money off of me. I'm freely giving my content. And so then after the fast, with the assassination remembrance, that there, I cover it in the video. It has to do with the 9th of Av, which we just had, and I had a countdown for that. Anybody remember what happened? I then had another countdown for 9/11. Anybody remember what happened? Anybody remember what happened to the countdown I had last year for 9/11? And then the Jewish 9/11? That was on the 24th, the day after Thanksgiving. Anybody remember what I did for that one? The countdown I had? It's just unbelievable. Blindness of Christianity on Mormons. And so then you have Yom Kippur, Judgment Day, the Day of Atonement, where Mormons get judged. And if you've been naughty, utter destruction. The day that shall burn as an oven. Joseph Smith warned you. The Bible warned you. The Book of Mormon warned you. I warned you. You're not listening. You're not believing. You want to be utterly destroyed, to prove the church is true. And then comes the other Exodus, with angels rather than Elijah. Did it in the video. That's the Exodus. So something has to happen for the fall of the great and abominable church. And if Mormons are Christian, then it can't be the Christian church. It can't be Islam, because they're Christian too. They're a branch off of Christianity. What did you think Allah meant in translation, and why it's plural rather than singular? He got that from Constantine. He plagiarized it. Copyright violation of God. We're going to stick to the theme. And so, yeah, and then we already know the election will be the bloodbath, the utter destruction of America, the overthrow of the government, because Oaks confesses, here it is, March 14th, 2020, before everything hit the fan that year, and into January 6th of 2021. Oaks is confessing. Las Vegas, Nevada mission. A little girl, 19 years old now, thanks to Monson lowering the age, is there. Living prophet of Jesus comes. She's so excited. Church is so true. I can't wait to get out and tell other people about how true the church is and that they can join and pay the church money. Clueless that it's a pyramid scheme that she's committing. And most and Oaks is expecting that these missionaries are only going to write home to their families about how Oaks came to see them and they felt the Spirit and the church is true. He doesn't expect anybody to be recording him. But he confesses to a crime. And so yes, he needs to be recorded. That's why the cops put people inside with the recording devices, to get the criminals on a recording confessing to crime. And so here the little sister missionary is doing that, and she doesn't realize she's doing that though. This is not the end of the world, but merely a test, a trial run for the second coming. Oh, he pulled a chiasmus. Cool. End of the world, second coming. a test, a trial. Chiasmus, in the Book of Mormon, proves that plagiarism is proof of the truth. From the late war of Napoleon. You're only getting that from me. I'm the only one who's covered this. The guy who had a crush on the returned sister missionary who mentions this to him, and then he does his video on it, which is where I got it from, didn't cover chiasmus of oaks. So now, should that be the title of the video? And so what he's saying is that 2020, with the coup of the government, which is what the church is all about, the way to perfection, Thomas B. Marsh in his affidavit to Governor Boggs, all of this is that the Danites of Brigham Young are going to coup the government. And so there will be a transfer of government authority from Lucifer to Jesus. Lucifer is the president of the church. Jesus is the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's a coup crime. And they're in a published document that I purchased. And so I take a part of it, because that copyright violations do not include parts used for fair use. There's a Fair Use Act, and YouTube doesn't want to acknowledge Fair Use Act, and so there are certain creators who know that YouTube attacks them in violation of the Fair Use Act, and so they will put a disclaimer of the Fair Use Act at the beginning of their videos to tell YouTube to back off. And it doesn't always work, but and so most recently, to tank my views that were skyrocketing out of control the other week, was I did a news clip, American news clip, fully within my legal rights. It was obtained freely. It's fair use, and it's news, and that had to do with the video, and so it's not the same news coverage, but is a different usage of it with my particular video. Fully legal, no copyright violations whatsoever in its use. And yet YouTube claimed all French-speaking countries have banned this content, this American news content, therefore it is prohibited in these French-speaking countries, and then boom, my views tanked because the algorithm thinks I'm a copyright violator and have to be punished for being a copyright violator. No, no, no. No, no, no. Overthrowing the Constitution by falsely accusing people and punishing them for falsely accusing them. And our government's not doing their job to stop it. They're helping, giving aid and comfort to domestic terrorism to overthrow the government. Disturbing. And so yes, everything that's going on this year is connected to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Oaks has been instrumental with Nelson and Irene and the 12 apostles in making everything that's going on this year happen. And the church just wants you to think, we're not associated with any of it. Project 2025, I have never read it. I don't know anything about it. The Council for National Policy? Oh, that's just a club. We're not affiliated with them whatsoever. And so, yes, they are. Steve Bannon was involved in a coup in 2016. He's a member. The church is a part of that. the church was involved in talks to have Steve Bannon coup America in 2016. In 2020, Nelson, or Oaks, confesses, yeah, we're going to coup the government this year. It's a test run to see how we can do. Not copyrighted material. This is a crime. I reported it to my government. They're not doing their job. So there's other things that happened in 2022. Remember that water shortage of the Great Salt Lake? Yeah, I told you it was the church that stole the water. Because the news came out and said the church is donating water. They were giving it back. They stole the water from the Great Salt Lake, so when we had the drought, boom, the Great Salt Lake went barren, and toxins started rising up in the atmosphere. That was because of the church. They caused it. You get Cox saying, well, yeah, we made some mistakes in the past, and so, yeah, we're responsible. No, the church ordered you to do that. Church stole the water. You know they stole the water. You let them steal the water. This government is not innocent. We all know this. And many other things that happened that year. And so to have this church fail to finish the temple in April was just hilarious. And here they are desperately trying to show you that everything's all set, temple's all ready, but it's not. You still see the temple, despite the plaza being shown in their video, with all of the things on the outside for people to stand on. They're still working on it. It's still not going to be completed for another couple more years, at least. They failed. Jesus cannot suddenly come to his temple to cause Armageddon. And so they've got to make do with what they got. Because there is no Jesus. They're the ones doing it.